All right, so this is another one for the archives, and it talks about another love triangle, apparent love triangle. I'm just going to phrase that apparent love triangle that went wrong, and this is from 2017, 3 years ago. And this is no, bear in mind, I had started doing YouTube recordings 2000 the year before that. This is one story that slipped through and slipped through the cracks, I should say. And this is a story I never had a chance to do anything about. Sometimes I get to circle around and do some stuff that's already been covered, even though I never did a recording on them. So this tells about the very tragic and sinister circumstances with former jail MP Warrenton Barham, and also Latoya Williamson, who I think apparently used to be work. He took care of her, and there's a double meaning with that. Like he used to offer financial support to. I think she used to be his secretary, and I think he used to pave way through school. I think he gave her a car. What I read, and I think on July, that very fateful month, it came to head because apparently she I think was severing ties with him from what I remember, and she had come up to the car that he had bought her with her boyfriend, and then apparently from what I've read is that this just probably set Warrington Barron off, and he and her argued. I think they said there are various stories. They said that he shot Latoya Williamson first. Some people said that he shot at her boyfriend first. I don't know which one's correct. People are right because there are varying stories on that though, and but the end result is that the boyfriend I think had to run for his life, or I think he ducked under the car, but his girlfriend pretty much took the brunt. Pretty much wasn't so lucky, and he killed her on the spot. And the thing is that after that, the police got involved, and the thing is that Barham basically went into full suicide and saying, you know what? Due to the fact that no, bear in mind the thing I should mention that Morton Barham is married with children already. So the thing is with that public display of brazen murder and attempted murder with this Latoya and her boyfriend, he pretty much says, "I'm done. I mean, like my political career is done. I'm going to be spending the rest of my life in prison for killing this woman and trying to kill her boyfriend." So I said, "No, I might as well go out in a blaze of glory." Well, that's what his logic was, and yeah, the police obliged him pretty much put sent him into the afterlife and so on, because that was basically his way of saying that I'd rather death before dishonor in his last moments. And what was no due to what's been said with the nature of the relationship between him and Miss Williamson, I think the rumor that well, I wouldn't say rumors, a lot of people are basically saying, hey, there's more to that relationship than they were knowing, because the fact that okay, he's financially supporting this girl who's like he's guys like old enough to be her granddad, like you think he was 70 years old, she was 24 years old before her death. And people are saying, hey, you know what, there was much more, there's an obvious reason why he went off when he saw her driving the car he bought her with this other guy he just met. And basically, people are saying, "Hey, she was basically his mistress on the side," which, again, due to what was said in these stories, yet that wouldn't be surprising, because usually, if a guy is really cupcaking or spending all types of money on these girls like that, though, he's not really doing 9 times out of 10. He's not doing that out of goodness of his heart. No, unless she was like his daughter, granddaughter, niece, or something. A lot of cases, a lot of these men, these older men, I'm gonna say it. I don't mean to keep bringing ages. A lot of these older men are usually just dealing with these younger women because hey, we see okay, we just like what's between your legs, and so we'll do this and that for you. But the thing, what trick back that they fall into is think like, oh, just because okay, I'm cupcaking with you and I'm giving you all these financial benefits that hey, you're my property. Bear in mind, this guy is already married. Bear in mind, this guy is already married, All right, but the thing is like, yeah, with some guys, and I'm sure women are like that too. I let them feel okay, even though I can have my cake and eat it too. So the fact that hey, he already has a wife and family at home, said okay, I don't like the fact that hey, this woman, that there's this new guy that's encroaching on my property. All right, and even though he knows deep down that hey, this girl would not give you the time of day if your pockets weren't lined. If you okay, that's such a disrespectful thing to do, and he does, and again, rather than just being logically just cutting his losses, said, "Okay, I'm just going to come down to the major case of gal coronavirus or turn killer simp and just basically destroy my life by killing this girl who's and again, even the fact that he should have known better." All right, and even reading the article right now said that a lot of people in the residence were basically saying that hey, this wasn't just okay. He was just helping her out to the goodness of his heart. Yeah, he was expecting something for her in return that which she was willing to give up. Though, if you know what I mean. All right, so it was just so yeah, and so on. All right, and the funny thing to remember that Barham, son, I think he has a history of violence already, so that does made it very unfortunate for Miss Williamson because I'm sure she would known that this guy had a violent streak because apparently he pulled a gun on another woman, and so on, and also even before the year that he had pointed his firearm at another woman. So this guy was a volatile loose cannon. So this was a all around. This was a scumbag. This was a sleazebag and so on. And I'm just wondering if his wife had known that this guy was a piece of work when she said, "Okay, I'm gonna be married to this guy and bear his children." Who knows? Maybe she's a piece of work too. But this is just the story I didn't get a chance to do, but again, it's just like the thing with Chanel Norris and Bernard Valentine. It's usually the case is older guy who should know better gets involved with these women who apparently are basically gold diggers and are taking advantage of these dangerous men. All right, because I'm pretty sure that Bernard Valentine also had a history of violence prior to killing Chanel Norris. But the thing is, I said, okay, right, okay, I just be with these guys. They break me off a piece of money, buy me a nice car, but then or pay my way through school so that when I get my career popping, get a nice job, I can just cut these guys off and then spend the money and whatever resources that they gave you with other men, knowing neglecting or don't play that that pretty much brings up the dark side in men like Ballantyne or even in Barham. And the funny thing is that with Ballantyne and Barham, both of these guys, even though Ballantyne's much younger, he's not really senior citizen right there yet. He's near middle age at this point. He's just basically like both of them said, okay, hey, I'm gonna ruin my life over a piece of pussy when I should have known better. Cause I think that Ballantyne, for understand, was married or left his wife. Should have stayed with his wife unless he was pretty much not a good husband. Well, obviously it'd be if he was going to do that bullshit he just did. And Barham said, I should just stayed with my wife, mind my kids, and just live out the rest of my golden years. Just doing and golden years, just staying in the good and the good staying good in the public eye, or whatever. So, but again, both of these men chose okay, we're just going to just throw our lives away over pussy. Like we just came on the gal coronavirus, and yeah, and to say like with Chanel Norris and Latoya Williamson, I don't condone their deaths. I mean, like these women were robbed their chance to live their full life, but if these two women were pretty much opportunist advantage and taking advantage of these men, this is a case study of what happens when that goes when of what happens when you do that to the wrong person. Just saying, this is not again not condoning what happened to these women, but and so on. But again, usually when you play these type of games, there's usually an end result, a very unpleasant end result when you play people's emotions. Again, just saying though, but this is pretty much a story again want to do for 3 years ago, but again, like I said, some stories I don't get the chance to do that. So and so on. But and again, there's lessons to be learned on both sides. So that's my takeaway from all of this. So this is for State of Jamaica and the Caribbean. Check out my YouTube pages, Miles Goods and Fern, Miles J Production with Thoughts and Miles. And yeah, and again, like I said, with the other recording with Chanel Norris and Bernard Ballantyne. Again, if I'm wrong, if there's nothing factual about this. And again, these are just things I'm reading online with these news articles, what and so on. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I welcome all opinions and so on. So that's what I have left to say. All right.